For centuries, humanity believed one simple story, that the Library of Alexandria vanished in a single catastrophic fire. One night, one disaster, one irreversible tragedy. But history is rarely that simple, because the truth is far darker and far more unsettling. 2,000 years ago, Alexandria was the intellectual capital of the ancient world. A city where scholars, scientists, philosophers, engineers, and astronomers gathered from every known civilization to exchange ideas that were centuries ahead of their time, and at the center of it all stood the Library of Alexandria. Not just a library, a machine for human progress. Inside its walls were hundreds of thousands of scrolls containing knowledge gathered from Greece, Egypt, Persia, India, and beyond. Mathematics, medicine, astronomy, engineering, philosophy. Some historians believe it contained discoveries humanity would not rediscover for over 1,000 years. Ancient scholars had already begun calculating the size of the Earth. Some propose that Earth orbited the Sun nearly 2,000 years before modern science accepted the idea. Others designed primitive steam-powered machines and mechanical computers like the Antikythera mechanism, devices so advanced they still confuse historians today. This was not a primitive civilization stumbling in darkness. This was a civilization accelerating towards something extraordinary, and then it began to disappear. Most people blame Julius Caesar. The story says that during Caesar's siege of Alexandria in 48 BC, a fire spread from the harbor and consumed the library. But historians have known for decades that this explanation doesn't fully match the evidence. Ancient records contradict one another. Some accounts claim the library survived long after Caesar. Others describe later waves of destruction stretching across centuries. The truth is that the Library of Alexandria did not die in one night. It died slowly, painfully, over generations. Wars damaged parts of the city. Political instability weakened funding. Religious conflict transformed intellectual institutions into targets. Knowledge became dangerous. And eventually, the great halls that once held humanity's collective memory began to empty. Scrolls deteriorated. Scholars vanished. Entire branches of knowledge disappeared into silence. One of the most devastating moments came in 391 AD when religious mobs destroyed the Serapeum, a temple complex closely tied to the library's remaining collections. By then, Alexandria was no longer the center of learning it once was. The intellectual engine of the ancient world was collapsing. And then came Hypatia, a philosopher, a mathematician, an astronomer, one of the final great scholars associated with Alexandria. She represented the dying spirit of reason and scientific inquiry in a world becoming increasingly unstable. And in 415 AD, she was murdered by a mob. For many historians, her death symbolized the final collapse of Alexandria's intellectual golden age. But here is where the story becomes truly fascinating. Some ancient sources suggest that scholars knew the library was in danger long before its final decline. There are theories that thousands of scrolls were secretly removed and hidden in private collections, underground chambers, temples, and distant cities. And history gives us a reason to take that possibility seriously. In 1947, the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered preserved inside sealed caves after surviving for nearly 2,000 years. More recently, scientists began using advanced scanning technology and artificial intelligence to read the Herculaneum scrolls, ancient manuscripts burned and carbonized by Mount Vesuvius. Without opening them, researchers are now recovering text hidden inside blackened scrolls once believed unreadable forever, which raises an extraordinary possibility. What if parts of Alexandria still exist, buried beneath modern cities, hidden inside forgotten vaults, sealed inside underground chambers waiting to be discovered? Even today, archaeologists continue finding tunnels and hidden structures beneath Alexandria, and nobody truly knows what remains undiscovered. But perhaps the most disturbing part of this story is not what was destroyed. It is what humanity may have lost. Imagine a world where the knowledge inside Alexandria survived uninterrupted. Would the scientific revolution have happened earlier? Would medicine have advanced centuries ahead of schedule? Would humanity have reached the industrial age 1,000 years sooner? Some historians believe it is possible. Think about that. Entire futures may have vanished alongside those scrolls, and yet fragments survived. During the Islamic Golden Age, scholars across Baghdad and the wider Islamic world preserved and translated many surviving Greek and Egyptian works into Arabic. Those translations eventually flowed back into Europe during the Renaissance.
And maybe the strangest part of all, we still do not know the full truth. Because the Library of Alexandria was never just a building, it was an idea. The belief that human knowledge should be collected, preserved, and shared across civilizations. And that idea changed the world forever. Even after Alexandria fell, echoes of its influence survived through scattered texts, translations, and fragments carried across continents by scholars desperate to preserve what remained. But imagine how much vanished completely. Entire philosophies, unknown discoveries, lost inventions, books written by civilizations whose voices disappeared from history forever. There could have been medical treatments centuries ahead of their time. Astronomical observations modern science has yet to rediscover. Engineering concepts lost before humanity was ready to understand them. The terrifying reality is this: we do not know what we lost because we lost the evidence itself. And history has repeated this pattern many times. Empires rise, knowledge flourishes, then war, politics, fear, or extremism erase what once seemed permanent. The destruction of knowledge is one of the oldest weapons in human history. Burn the books, and eventually you erase the memory of what people once knew. That is why Alexandria still haunts historians today, not because of the fire, but because of the silence that followed, a silence stretching across centuries. And even now, beneath the streets of modern Alexandria, archaeologists continue searching. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed buried chambers and underground structures hidden beneath the city. Some researchers believe undiscovered archives may still exist. Sealed rooms, collapsed tunnels, hidden vaults untouched for thousands of years. Most may contain nothing, but it only takes one discovery to rewrite history forever. Just one scroll, one forgotten text, one surviving fragment from the ancient world. Imagine archaeologists uncovering a complete scientific manuscript thought lost forever, or discovering records from civilizations we barely understand, or recovering texts proving the ancient world knew far more than we ever imagined. It sounds unbelievable, but so did reading burned scrolls with artificial intelligence. And now scientists are already doing it. Technology is allowing humanity to recover voices once thought permanently erased. In a strange way, the future may help us reconnect with the ancient past. And maybe that is the real legacy of Alexandria. Not the tragedy of its destruction, but the reminder that knowledge survives only when people fight to preserve it. Because every civilization believes it will last forever. Every empire thinks its achievements are permanent, and every generation assumes its knowledge is safe, until suddenly it isn't. The people of Alexandria could never have imagined their world disappearing, just like modern civilization struggles to imagine its own fragility. But history warns us constantly. Knowledge can vanish, progress can collapse, and entire chapters of human achievement can disappear into myth. The Library of Alexandria became a symbol of that warning, a reminder of how much humanity stands to lose when curiosity is replaced by ignorance and preservation is replaced by destruction. Yet despite everything, the search continues. Somewhere beneath deserts, ruins, monasteries, caves, or forgotten archives, pieces of the ancient world may still survive, waiting silently in darkness, waiting for someone to uncover them. And perhaps one day, humanity will finally rediscover a piece of what was lost. Not just scrolls, not just books, but a forgotten version of human civilization itself.